welcome back to my channel. Yes, I am standing outside in my backyard. I just want to do something a little bit different. It's such a beautiful day out. So anyways, you guys, I used a lot of new products. I used a Laura Lee Violet Voss palette and some Estee Lauder products. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, then please continue watching, you guys. Who's excited for all new products? So excited to be trying out these new products, you guys. Let's jump right in. Let's start with our Beam Team Hydrate and Glow, Hydrate Illuminate. This came from my Estee Edit box from Influencer. So thanks again, you guys. We're going to put that on first because this is the moisturizer. So let's get our face all prepped up. You know that moment when you're like, I'm not sure how much I should use because you don't want to overdo it, but it looks like that. So you can see that it has like some color to it. The birds are really out there chirping right now, you guys. Wow, this feels great. Can you guys see how my skin looks illuminized? It has like this gold bronze look to it. Oh, that's lovely. We're going to go ahead and get some eye primer on. We're using our Bella Pierre makeup base, as you guys, I'm sure, guessed. Hey, you guys, so since we're trying out new products, first impressions, and kind of like reviewing products as well, I figured let's use the Violet Voss Laura Lee palette. So this palette is not mine, it is a friend's, but I am reviewing it and trying it out for you guys. I know that this is the last round for this palette, and when it's gone, it's gone. I love Laura Lee. I think that she is an amazing YouTuber. So if you've never watched any of her videos, please check them out or follow her on Instagram. I think it's cute that this little card came over from her that she signed herself. I just think that's amazing. Her palette looks like this. It has Laura Lee on the back. The Violet Voss palette just says Laura Lee. I love, love, love her. I just really wasn't interested in a Violet Voss palette in general. I love Violet Voss glitters and eyelashes, don't get me wrong. But I just, like color selection wise in their palettes, I just feel like I have that like repeated so many times. So anyways, you get this mirror up top and then you get the shadows here. You get 20 shadows in this palette. And I think at the end of the video, I'll kind of go over this palette a little bit more and some palettes that I have that kind of just remind me of this palette. But first off, let's just go ahead and set our lid so that we don't have any creasing. And I'm going to use Britches. So it's just a nice warm shade. Okay, so that shade went on very nicely. Okay, and now I think that I will go into Rammer Jammer here. And I guess we'll pop that in the crease. We're just taking that blending brush that we had to put on Britches, and we're just going right over top of that, blending everything out. Okay, and when that looks the way you wanted, then I think I'm going to go in with 1988, and I honestly, ooh, I'm not gonna grab down. as usual, I'm going to wet my brush for that one. Sure about where I'm going with all of this, but working with it. So 1988 is really pretty, like fiery orangey red. It's got a little more orange in it than Rammer Jammer. I don't know, I don't think I want to take it all over the eye because I kind of want to use another color. But I am kind of like carving out the lid there. Right, I think we're going to go into Fleeky because it is a nice, really pretty, like yellow golden shade. I really like it. And I want to just pop some of that in this inner corner here. Look at that, you guys. Look how pigmented that is. I'm using that same damp brush. And I'm just taking that and like blending the two shades together. Guys, and we're going back into 1988, which is that red orangey kind of shade. This way we can just make sure everything's nice and blended together. So that's really gorgeous, you guys. Really, really, really gorgeous. Alright, and we're going to take that blending brush and go back into Britches, you guys, and just make sure everything's nice and blended out. And I'm going to dip into a little bit of Alabama and just on the outside here. Pencil brush, like detailer brush here. I'm going to go into Whiskers. And just focus that on the outer V. Really, really, and then just blend right over top of that. Just wanted to add a tiny bit of detail right next to those shades. Okay, and I think for our brow bone shade, we're just going to go into basic. And that's exactly what it is. It's just like the basic shade that you get in your palette. And we're just going to highlight up here. That down because you don't want it to be too bright. You just want it lightly highlighted. You don't want to take away from the eyes, the lid, or anything like that. Get into the face and come back to that. Duh, you guys, before we move on to the face, we gotta put on some eyeliner. I'm gonna use my NYX Matte Liquid Liner. And I'm still trying to decide on lashes, you guys. I think I'm gonna need some though because I don't know, I just feel like, you know, sometimes your lashes just set the look. They just finish it off, you guys. So we'll see, but we're gonna put on some liner for now. Now that we have our wing on, we're gonna put on some mascara. And I think we're gonna put on some lashes. I just think I'm gonna try and stay like more on the subtle side and a little less dramatic. That sounds crazy coming from me, I know. So we're gonna use our Wet n Wild Mega Wear mascara. Ooh, you guys, I really want to use like some spiky looking lashes, so I'm gonna use these Morphe Brushes lashes in 505. Aren't they so cute? They're so different, so I just really want to try them out. I'm going to put on this Pore Vanishing Stick from the Estee Edit Box, and I'm using this as a face primer. So it's supposed to smooth you out, give you some even skin. But what I'm really doing it is placing it on areas that are a little on the default side, as I like to call it. They're not as smooth, and then just kind of rubbing it in. Wow, this formulation is like really, really smooth, really soft, like silky. That's a good word. I like that. All right, so of course we're going in with our Infallible Pro Glow foundation because I've been loving it. And does not have to like pretty much turn up in every video. Anyways, I think we've baked long enough, so let's dust that off. So you guys, the next thing I want to test out is this flash illuminator from the Estee Edit Box, but I noticed that it is super, super pigmented. So I'm gonna put like a drop on my beauty blender, and then I'm gonna like tap that in. I'm doing like a dot, and I'm gonna dot here and dot over here, and just kind of like blend that in. Okay, you guys, and then I'm going to take Jeffree Star Skin Frost in Ice Cold, and I'm going to take that over where we put that illuminator. Remember to tap off your brush. These are pigmented and they have a lot of fallout. So I'm taking my powder brush and I'm like just blending all of that in because I went in a little heavy. But I also want to make sure that the Skin Frost doesn't just look like it's sitting on my skin. You want it to kind of blend in with everything else on your face. Literally see how much fallout is on my desk right now from this thing. Like, I got messy hand and everything. Okay, you guys, for lips, I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild liner in shade Wine. Really, really excited about this Estee Lauder, the Barris lip color. It's in 06 Nude Scene. These are moisturizing like lip balms and sheer lipsticks. These are pretty. Guys, I'm loving this. So like basically what it is a pigmented lip balm, which is amazing. We're going to go back into that Laura Lee palette, you guys, and getting like a definer brush. And I want to go into Bitty and just put that right on the lash line. Okay, you guys, so this is the finished makeup look. I'm going to go and do my hair, throw my camera on the charger, and then I'll come back and talk about the Laura Lee palette and how I like these products so far. And I have a couple palettes that I'd like to compare with it as well. So I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, so we're back to talk about the Voss Laura Lee collaboration palette. I'm sorry you guys, I know I got total glare going on because I have my glasses on. I didn't put my contacts in today, and I really wanted to be able to see to talk about these eyeshadows. So anyways, before I jump into this, I want to say I am loving the new Estee Lauder, the Barris lip color. The shade I'm wearing is Nude Scene, and you guys see me apply this in the video. It is seriously like a tinted lip balm. My lips feel so moisturized. Sometimes it's good to give yourself a break from the liquid lipsticks because they can kind of just be really drying or just tear your lips up. Sometimes you don't want to go with anything like super colorful. I've applied this once today, and I had a salad with raspberry vinaigrette for lunch. I had like 5 of my daughter's French fries. I had a bottle of water, and I've been sipping on a glass of wine. So, oh, and I had an egg for breakfast. So, even though these come off, they're still kind of like long wearing too. So, definitely check these out. They're amazing. Anyways, let's jump into this palette. So, it says Pro Eyeshadows, and you get 20 eyeshadows in the palette. Now, I'm not going to swatch every single one of them, but I do want to swatch some of the metallic shades and some of the matte shades and kind of talk about what I think of them. Now, I think that these metallic shades are amazing. Like, I used today 1988. And obviously there's some fallout, but I feel like that's with any metallic shade. I also used Fleeky today. And it is like a really pretty gold yellow shade. And I want to swatch Yoshi and Smash Lee for you guys. So I really want to use this one too. It is really pretty. And I'm going to swatch them for you. I don't think that metallics are ever bad in a palette. Like, I haven't come across a palette, and I'm pretty sure there are some, but I haven't come across a palette where there was like a bad metallic. It's the mattes that I'm always worried about. So those metallics, as you guys can see, are just simply gorgeous, you guys. They are very pigmented. They blend very easily. I didn't have a problem with applying them. I haven't had a problem with how they're wearing. They're staying on. Very nice. So in a palette, for me, the true test are matte shades, because matte shades are kind of hard to get to be pigmented or to show up or blend out very easily. So I'm going to swatch Fried for you guys. Ragamuffin, Press Pot, and Basic. Because I feel like in every palette you're going to get those shades. So there they are. Sorry, there's a little bit of blue still on there with it. And one of the unique ones is Fried. Fried is right there, you guys. Sorry. Right there. So I'm going to swatch that for you. Here's my problem with mattes. They tend to get lost. Like, that one barely showed up. Granted, it's close to my skin tone, but it's not very pigmented. And this one is a little bit streaky. Like, it shows its pigmentation and then it kind of just dies out throughout. So, all in all, you guys, I think that Laura Lee did an amazing job with collabing this palette. It is gorgeous. I do like the colors in there. There are a few unique kind of shades. Like, Flaky is not like a gold. It's like a yellow gold. So that's pretty unique. 1988. You know, Smash Lee is kind of unique. It's a different type of teal. Do I think that this palette should be priced at $45? No, I don't. And the reason why I'm saying that is just because, like, there's other palettes like Morphe, where you get a lot of shadows and there's a lot of consistency, and you're not paying $45. You're paying like $22, $25, you know. And I just feel like this is not just her palette in general, because I'm not like knocking her palette or anything like that. Like I said, I think it's beautiful. I just think that with the Violet Voss palettes, there's some inconsistencies, and I just think they should run just a little bit cheaper, you know. But all in all, I do like this palette, so if you got your hands on it, that is amazing. Congratulations. You guys, I'm sure, are going to get some use out of it. It is very pretty, and it does have a wide variety of shades. You know, you get your pops of color, you get your neutral tones, you get your warm tones, you know, your metallics, your mattes, and I do like that. I'd like to see that in a palette. I'm not like a big all matte girl, and, you know, I have palettes like that. I just like the fact that someone could put together a palette and do a little bit of each. I do love the metallics in this palette, though. I think the metallics in this palette are gorgeous. In fact, I wish that I had some of these metallics and some of my other palettes. I mean, literally, Fleeky is to die for. I wish I could take that shade out and put it in another palette. But I want to move along just in case you guys did not get your hands on that palette. Like, if you just could not get it, or it's sold out before you got a chance to get it, or you were iffy, or you didn't have that kind of money to spend on a palette, I just want to introduce another palette, another two palettes to you guys that have some similar shades. They're not exactly the same by any means. I just want to point out the shade colors. So this is the Pinky Rose Earth Hue palette. I've talked about it quite a bit on my channel. I have worked with it a lot. I really love this palette. So one of the unique shades that I noticed in this palette that is about the same, okay, so we've got Fried here from the Laura Lee palette, and then we have this shade here in the Pinky Rose palette. And if you look at them, they literally look almost identical. So this is from Laura Lee and this is from Pinky Rose. And I will give you guys a swatch just so you can see really quickly. So that's from Pinky Rose, and as you can see, it's just a little tiny bit more consistent as far as a matte, but they are practically dupes, you guys. There is a little fallout in the Pinky Rose, whereas I'm not getting that with the Violet Voss palette, so that is a plus, but I am getting a little more pigmentation with the Pinky Rose one. Same swatch, you guys watch me do it. Okay, and then let me see here. We have, looks like Biddy from the Laura Lee palette, so right there. And then we have the same shade, looks like, in the Pinky Rose palette. Yes, those look absolutely identical once again. So the top one is from the Laura Lee palette, and this bottom one is from the Pinky Rose palette, so literally identical. And they both have great pigmentation. They look pretty spot on, you guys. Okay, moving right along. The next shade that I feel like is a close dupe, we've got this pink shade, which looks like Tippled Pink from the Laura Lee palette. So that is from the Pinky Rose palette there. And then Tickled Pink from the Laura Lee palette. They look close. They're not identical, but they are close. Like I said, I just wanted to try to bring out colors that were as close as I could possibly get for you guys. So this one is from the Laura Lee palette. That's going right on top, which is extremely buttery and extremely pigmented. So that one in the Laura Lee palette up top gives off way more pigmentation. That is really gorgeous. I'm impressed with that. I hadn't got a chance to swatch that one. And then this one is from the Earth Hue palette from Pinky Rose, which is really just a lighter metallic. So, like I said, I'm loving the metallics from the Laura Lee palette. So, there's those ones. Let me see if I have any more dupes in this palette, because I might have to move into my next palette that I have for you guys to show you guys. Okay, so we have Alabama from the Laura Lee palette, which looks like that right there. And then we're going to go into what looks like Alabama right here in the Earth Hue palette. Yeah, they're pretty close. The Pinky Rose ones looks a little more pigmented once again, but this is a matte shade. So, okay, yeah. You're getting a little more color payoff from the Pinky Rose one. That is the Laura Lee one, but they are pretty identical if you are looking for those shades. Hold up the Earth Hue palette so you guys can see it and just take a look at the colors and just see how much of a dent I've put in this palette, because I love it. And then I'm going to hold up the Laura Lee palette here for you guys so you can kind of see as well that the shades in the palettes are kind of similar. You get a little more shades here. Obviously, it's a bigger palette. It is, I think, with tax and everything, this one ran me about $28, and this one is closer to $50 with tax and everything, shipping and everything. I think actually it might be a little over $50. But like I said, I'm reviewing my friend's palette. So those are those two side by side. So the next palette that we're going to go into that I want to talk about that has some similar shades. Now I don't, like I said, I don't have a palette with Smash Lee in it because it is a very unique, as everything rolls off my desk. Everything. So one more time, Smash Lee is this teal one, and then Fleeky is a really unique shade. So I don't think I have anything to match those two, but I'm going to see if I can get any anywhere near close to those. So here we have, which I put a dent in as well already. This is the Morphe 35F palette. It is the Fall in a Frost palette. It is brand new with Morphe. And I think I want to swatch Rammer Jammer. So it looks like it's a metallic shade. And then let me see what might be close to that in this palette. I'm thinking this one here. Yeah. So there we go. The Morphe one is a little chunkier. They're very close. The Morphe one is up top here, and then that one's from the Laura Lee. And as you can see, this one is a little more pigmented, but it does have a little more fallout. So that's something to consider as well. And then I have a shade in here that I feel like is really close to Tickled Pink that I want to swatch. I'm going to try to swatch it with the Tickled. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's really close. This is the Morphe one, and that's Tickled Pink. So, you know, it's very similar. Still not the exact same. This one has a little more of an orange tone in it, whereas the Laura Lee one is more of a true pink shade. And then let me see if I have anything for 1988, because I think I do here. So 1988 is like a rustic red-orange shade right there. And then I feel like this one is going to be really close to it. Boy, these shadows are all just so buttery. So there we go. We got 1988 and the one from the Morphe palette. Morphe palette up top, 1988 on the bottom. So 1988 is more orangey rustic, and this one is more red. But as you guys can see, they look pretty spot on. Swatches are like got me flexing. But so anyways, you guys, that's just a quick rundown. In this palette, the Fall in the Frost, you have your mattes all down on the bottom, and then you have the top 4 rows are all metallics. These ones are a little more, they have a little more fallout, a little on the chunkier side, but they are extremely pigmented. This palette is absolutely gorgeous. Whereas I don't notice as much fallout on the Laura Lee palette, so I have to give credit where it's due. This one doesn't have as much fallout. There are some fallout, like I said, in some of the metallic shades, but that's just a given, you guys. You're gonna have fallout in any metallic shades that you're using. So you guys, that is it as far as my review. My review for this palette, you know, I gotta give it a thumbs up. This is a really nice palette. I just am a little bit disappointed, like I said, in the matte shades. They were easy to blend out, the ones that I used, but I'm always looking for pigmentation, you guys, you know. So if you're one of those people, then this is probably not the palette for you. If you were able to get your hands on it, like I said, congratulations, good palette. I just don't think it's worth $45. It just should be a little bit cheaper. $45 just seems so steep to me. But to each their own, like I said in my Jeffree Star review video, we are all going to have our own opinions. I'm not saying anything bad. It's just my opinion that I don't feel like I have to have it, you know. So, you guys, that is it. If you like this video, please, as always, give this video a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to all social media, which is linked down below. Also, you guys, like I've been telling you, stay positive. Continue to bring positivity around each other. Don't be negative. Don't be double downers. Don't attack each other. Don't pull each other down. We just have so much of that. I'm just like so heartbroken and so tired of seeing it all the time, you know. But other than that, you guys, don't forget to put a smile on your face. It is truly the best makeup you can wear. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who's been so supportive here on my channel. And I love you guys. I will see you next video. Bye.